I'm Mark Lack. This is Business Rockstars. We're here to inspire, inform, and connect a community of entrepreneurs. Joining us right now is Jennifer Grady. She's the founding attorney at the Grady firm. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Hi, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here.
So tell us about your company, the Grady firm. What do you guys do?
Sure. Well, my law firm is a one-stop shop for business owners and entrepreneurs, and we're at the juncture of business law, employment law, and immigration law. So that means that we have clients that come to us with an idea. We help turn it into a reality. We set up their business, do their contracts, and do employment law guidance. And we also work with foreign entrepreneurs, and we're the liaison between them and the United States. We help them with visas, green cards, and their business entity setup.
Nice. So you take people, you said, that have a business idea and
Yes.
help execute all the legal stuff?
Exactly.
So what's the craziest idea that somebody's brought to you that they wanted to execute and want your help with?
Well, I would say one thing that I like to ask if they come with a crazy idea is who's going to buy this product? Is it going to sit on the shelf and never see the light of day, or is it something that people actually need, that there's a niche, and it's something that we can really turn into something successful?
Okay.
So I do give a little bit of feedback sometimes, but
If
generally,
somebody comes to you with a crazy idea,
I might say, let's think about that. Have you done any research?
Before you invest all your money in this.
Exactly, definitely.
Okay. How did you get into law? I feel like, people have their opinions about getting
Sure.
into law and being attorneys, and you got some people that just completely crush it as an attorney, and some people that are recovering attorneys who
Right.
end up going into business or doing something completely different after they spent all that time, energy, and money to become an
Right.
attorney. So why did you choose to become one?
I feel like I'm somewhere in between an attorney and a recovering attorney in that I'm still practicing law. I love what I do, but as a business owner, I get to be creative. I get to be an entrepreneur. I get to do marketing, all the admin, all the finances. So I really have all of those roles wrapped up in one, and I get to do different things every single day, and I never know what kind of call is going to come through the door and who I'll be able to help.
Is that why you
yeah.
decided to create your own firm?
That is, yes, because I really was good at the marketing. I think that would have been my other career had I not chosen to become an attorney. But this way, I get to do it on my terms. I get to do speaking engagements. I get to read
Nice.
a larger audience rather
You get to come
than
on
just
cool interviews like this.
Exactly.
Get your brand out
definitely.
there.
It's much more fun than just doing discovery in the office. I
Yeah.
can really be a multifaceted person and help more people, actually.
I love that. What did you do before becoming an attorney? Did you do this? Did you go straight from school into this?
I actually moved to LA originally. Was kind of interested in entertainment, actually. Maybe I did some writing. I wrote for music magazines and websites, so I did want to pursue journalism. And I ended up thinking about law school. I wanted to always have a career in a Juris Doctor degree, so I worked at a law firm as a law clerk and moved files around the office and
Worked your way up the ladder?
Exactly.
Now you have
So I
your own
definitely
firm.
started in the bottom,
And now
I'm here.
So you've been in business now for 8 years.
Yes.
I'm sure that if you went back and sat down with yourself in year one,
Right.
you probably have a couple pieces of advice that you'd like to share with
Sure.
yourself. What would those pieces of advice be?
That you have the experience and the skills to do it. And one thing that I did always have throughout my life was a tenacity. And so that is something that I would suggest for other entrepreneurs is never take no for an answer. That really got me through a lot. There's plenty of rejection. You're always trying to get new clients and maybe it doesn't work out. And then you have to always be tweaking your pitch, tweaking your customer service, and working with someone. I have a coach that I work with on a daily basis that I really started out with in the beginning. So
Coach for what?
Some days he's a life coach. Some days we do the numbers. Some days we do marketing, positioning. So we meet once
just
a
been a
week.
strategic coach.
Exactly, business
Nice.
coach. Yeah.
You really help kind of cultivate, right, the mindset and the plan and the security from the legal background to help these people create and
Right.
live the American dream. So what does it really mean to you? And what inspires you to do it?
Right. Actually, what inspired me are my grandfathers, who one came from Ireland, one came from Italy, and they literally built this country with their hands. One worked on the railroad, one worked in the coal mines, and those were really hard, arduous jobs for very little money, but they did it so that my parents and so that I could live an excellent life. And that's what I like to do to help other people, whether they're from the US or whether they're from somewhere else. To me, the American dream means being self-sufficient, being able to support yourself, your community, and your family. And I have traveled around the world, and that opportunity isn't always there everywhere. But in the United States, you can start with $5 in your pocket, and you can become something and be someone that you're proud of. And that's what I like to help people do.
I love that. So do you feel like you're living the American dream?
I do.
How does that feel?
I do. It's exciting. I'm aware that right now it's probably the best time, right here, right now, for a woman. I can go anywhere, by myself. I don't have to be married in order to go out. I can have my own business, have my own hours, travel around the world, and really make a difference, and every day be satisfied with what I'm doing.
And so what is some of this practical advice that you have for the individual out there who says, I'm listening to shows like Business Rockstars, trying to get the advice that I can for free on my drive home or on my time off, trying to connect the puzzle pieces.
Okay.
When is it the right time for me to cut the cord from the 9 to 5 and start my own business?
Okay, great. Well, there are plenty of things that you can do while you still have that 9 to 5. That way you're in the position to start making money once you leave. So after
moonlighting.
Yeah. Well, we have to make sure that it's not competitive moonlighting, but if it's unrelated and it's on your own time, not while you're at work, there's plenty of things you can do. One, you can start educating yourself about marketing, SEO. You can start building your website, so that will be ready when you're ready to go. You can incorporate a legal entity. That's something that can take a few weeks. You sign
Starting up your LLC or something like that?
Yes, and then even getting local permits. You can have contracts drafted. And really, even now, if you're just not even sure exactly what you want to do, you can start with networking. That's really what I did. I found the startup community in Silicon Beach, which is Venice, and Santa Monica, and I went to the events and I just started going. People started to know who I was, and then that snowballs. You get one client that leads to something else, and never turn down any meeting. I mean, you do need to know your worth and know your time, right?
In the beginning.
But in the beginning, I had so many lunches, coffee dates where I just met with people. I said, what do you do? This is what I do. And now, over time, they've become resource partners. And then I can refer my clients to them. And then it's kind of a global, we're all supporting entrepreneurs together.
For the person who says, hey, networking, that sounds great, but, where do I go? What do you say to them? Because a lot of people say, where do I network? I'm okay with going out there and I'll get over being uncomfortable, but I don't know where to go to find these right people.
Okay. I mean, luckily we're in the age of Meetup. I remember the first time,
Meetup.com or the app.
Hearing about that and thinking, oh, random people just getting together. But really, there's so many different types. And the great thing for people who are shy, I have my own groups. I have friends that are organizers. If you're shy, email the organizer ahead of time and say, I don't know anybody. Can you look for me? Can you introduce me? And usually they'll do it. One reason, a secret reason of founding an organization is that as the hostess, you always have a reason to talk to everyone and to introduce yourself to everyone. So that's kind of a way for people who seem extroverted but are secretly a little bit introverted. So, and really, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You meet with someone, you might have a great connection. So I would say just get out there and do it, and just try, you might like it.
I love that advice. Let's shift gears real quick and talk about tools, gadgets, and resources. I feel like nowadays there's over 1 billion apps, and I myself am, I'm just like too cluttered with so many apps on my phone. I have like 1,500 apps. And I'm curious for you though, as an attorney and as an entrepreneur, do you have maybe 1 or 2 tools, resources, gadgets, apps that you heavily rely on that help you in your business or your life?
Yes, so my list is about this long of apps, and I would really like to make my own platform where I put them all together. But one thing everybody needs is a CRM software. So I have my own that is for legal specifically, but you could try Salesforce. Just Google CRM, there's hundreds out there, and that's where you track your leads, and then you can tell yourself when to follow up. When I started, I had just a spreadsheet, and I really had no consistent means of following up with leads. So what you need to do is enter them the second you get it, and then schedule a reminder for you to process those leads. I also use something called Teamwork, which is where I can share files, share tasks, billing with my staff, and that's cloud-based. And then that way I always know what they're doing, and there are even programs where you can share it with the client securely as well. And then as a lawyer, I use Clio, and that's the practice management. So we have all the files, all the emails, everything in one place.
Fantastic.
And I use those 50 times a day.
50 times a day.
Or more, many. Yeah, I really like being connected and using technology.
I love that, me too. I feel like nowadays, whether you like it or not, you have to get on the technology trend. You've just you've got to start using technology, because it truly does. Even though in some ways it makes life more complex, it also simplifies it, and it's kind of finding the sweet spot.
Right, and a good one for other people that's free is Trello, and that's a task management, and so you can order things and tile them by priority and date, and then you can share that with people you're working with.
Give us your best advice.
Okay, everyone. My top 3 pieces of advice are: first, do your research, and that is something you can do while you have your job. Find out, is this niche necessary, or is this just a little hobby that I have? Are people out there going to buy your service or your product? Look around, look online, see if someone else is already doing it, because we don't want to have you spend all that time and money and it's already out there. If it is, see how you can do it better, cheaper, or faster.
Love the first one.
All right.
Second one.
My second one would be, don't take no for an answer. I think the number one characteristic that an entrepreneur has is tenacity. And remember, sometimes opening your own business is like dating. We're looking for clients, we're looking for that right fit, and sometimes it is a numbers game. You have to try until you find one that works. But just keep going. Even as you grow, you're going to have different problems, you're going to have growing pains, but once you've already been through it the first time, you know that you can handle anything, and it's just a matter of tweaking things as you move forward.
I love that second one. Did you have a third one, or do you want to leave it there?
I do. My last one is always get everything in writing. So
as an attorney, that's the advice you have to give.
Yes, but it's true. And that's at any time you have a relationship, whether that's with a business partner, a vendor, a client, a web developer. Most people think that they have a meeting of the minds, and then if they have an issue, they're always coming to me a year or two later, and I say, let me see your contract. And it's some sort of email exchange back and forth, and there was never a really clear delineation. So that can really solve problems. I don't really recommend getting a contract off the internet, because sometimes it has terms for a totally unrelated type of field. So get a good contract from an attorney. Maybe you can reuse it in different ways, but definitely get it in writing.
I love that. So to recap, do your research, don't take no personally, and be persistent. And then the third one was get it in writing.
Exactly.
Jennifer, pleasure having you on the show.
Okay, thank you. Nice to meet you.
I'm Mark Lack on Business Rockstars, connecting a community of entrepreneurs. You can join us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at businessrockstars.com.
How can you build a team with little or no money? I'm Pat O'Brien with the Business Rockstars Minute. When first getting your business off the ground, resources will be tight, but you'll still need to build a team and generate income. Here's a couple of ways you can build a team even if you have little or no money at all. 1, hire contractors or part-time employees. If you can't afford a full team member's salary, you can use contractors, part-time employees, or students instead. 2, offer stock options. If you can't offer them money yet, offer them equity in your company. 3, defer compensation. Deferring compensation can be tricky, as you have to be careful with the wording in your offer letter and ensure that you are not breaching any laws. A lack of resources should be no excuse for a lack of success. Be resourceful and use your head. I'm Pat O'Brien, and this has been a Business Rockstars Minute.